Well, good afternoon. I really am excited y'all are all here. A little scared y'all are all here. I wonder what's going on, but no, good to see everybody today. You know, I had to check my iPhone to start the event because my Mickey watch died this morning. I know. And now I've got to find a jeweler to work on it because I mean something this valuable, 25 bucks. I don't allow just anybody to change the battery. You know, my son's in the Air Force, my oldest son. He called me a couple of years ago. He's an air battle manager, flies on the AWACS. And he said, "Dad, we're buying these new watches." And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "They come from parts of the airplane. They have whatever in them and everything." And he said, "Do you want one?" And I said, "Well, I don't know." I said, "You know, it sounds like it's cool. It looks like a big aviator watch." And I said, "How much does it cost?" He said, "Dad, it's $2,000. And I said, do you have your watch on you? And he said, yeah, I've got it. You want to see it? I said, no, what time does it say it is? And he said, it's 1:45. And I looked at my Mickey watch and I said, yep, you're right. I'm good. I'm excited to have you all here today because we got a lot of great stuff to talk about. But first, I want to introduce a couple of our board members who are here. Y'all know our chairman of our board, General Glenn Schaefer. Glenn's with us at most of our board meetings. Far in the back is the vice chair of our board, Dr. Steve Shepard. And one of our newer board members, Dr. Diane Berry. So we want to thank them very much for coming today, and we appreciate them being here. This is what we're going to cover. I might want to turn this on. It works a lot better when you turn it on. It may just take a second to catch up. I'll let you work that way. It's not on. Oh, yeah. I did turn it on. I can do that. Anyway, we're gonna start with some awards because we do have some great awards to talk about today. So, they're working. Thank you. Appreciate that. It's usually operator error, Malaya tells me. We're going to start with our Distinguished Service Award. You know, every year we pick out a resident at East and a resident at West who have made great contributions to our community, to your community, and help their fellow residents. And today we'd like to we always invite our board chairman out to make the presentation. And so today I'm going to read the presentation and ask General Schaefer to present the award that we have for the Distinguished Service Award for this year. Daniel Stump Sawada was nominated by his wife Nancy. Stump moved to Blue Skies of Texas in 2012 and was immediately joined in on several activities. He was part of the Blue Skies Bikeman Club, Catholic Council, Blue Skies Knights of Columbus Group, Village Voices, the Resident Ambassadors, and many other groups that he participated in. For several years, until his stroke in 2018, he also helped prepare tax returns for residents throughout the community in one of the programs we offer here at Blue Skies. He was always helpful to his neighbors, including putting in and taking out the garbage cans for those who couldn't, and picking up newspapers and making sure they were right on the porch for residents that maybe had trouble getting their newspaper every morning. Unfortunately, on January 27th, we lost Stump and he's no longer with us, but today we have his wife Nancy to receive the award and allow us to honor Stump for everything he did for Blue Skies.
Over here, and I'm going back right now to rehearse with the Village Voices. I did the same thing this morning, so thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we have a couple other great awards to give out, and they don't all know about these things. You know, every year Leading Age Texas offers awards in different categories to recognize senior living communities throughout the United States and throughout Texas. We nominated in the Texas category, and this year we're very proud to announce that Freedom House, technically Blue Skies of Texas Alzheimer's Care and Research Center, was selected for the Excellence in Research and Education Awards. Where's our Freedom House team today? Raise your hand. You're in the back. Congratulations. Congratulations, team. You know, for those of y'all who don't know, Freedom House originally started as a research and Alzheimer's and memory care facility. And over the years, if you study that horrible disease, you'll read about the Freedom House study, and that was us. That was using our residents. And over the years, that study's been referenced in many other documents. And now we have new research going on as we partner with the Biggs Institute at the University of Texas in San Antonio. The Biggs Institute is one of only 34 centers of excellence in Alzheimer's care and research in the United States, and only one in the state of Texas. and they are partnering with us to work with our residents, not only those in Freedom House, but to work for residents who are not in Freedom House or may never be in Freedom House to start tracking our cognitive abilities. And so I think we have over 100 residents who are not part of Freedom House who have signed up and are being followed through the Biggs Institute. And I think that's going to be great for us in the years to come. So congratulations to the Freedom House team. Well done. We also recognize this morning one of our board members, Colonel Dan Myers, was selected as the Excellence in Governance Award for Leading Age Texas. Dan's been with our board for 9 years. He's actually in his 10th year. He's in a special category as one more year on the board in an emeritus spot to help us out. Dan's done great work for us in our investments committee, as well as being on all the many other committees, and we're real proud of Dan. Very, very committed to Blue Skies. Our own Larissa was also recognized as an emerging leader. Larissa back over there in the corner. Larissa's following in such footsteps as Tim Hohan and some other great folks in this community have won this Emerging Leader Award. I will tell you, Larissa's here whenever we need her. If it's nights, if it's weekends, she is out here and does a fantastic job and a great attitude. And Larissa, we're very proud of you and all of our other award winners. So thank you. Something that's pretty neat that we just became part of, and that is we've just signed an agreement with an alliance with Pre-K for SA. Pre-K for SA is one of the mayor and the city council's big programs to push pre-K to a level where it's just not child care, where it's really education and helping our children. And by signing this alliance, we've set a goal to become part of the Texas Rising Star accreditation. And by doing that, they will help our employees get their accreditation in child development, their child development associate's degree, and once they get their degree, if they stay with us 6 months after that, they get a $500 cash award from the city, and if they stay another year after that, they get another $500 award. This is really great because this is a program where we offer child care for our employees here, and gives them a chance to come to work here. Yeah, it's probably a little late for that, although I've met some of your kids. Just kidding. It allows our employees to bring their children out here, be close to them, and we offer it up to employees here at Blue Skies, and we do overflow for Lackland Air Force Base for the people who are in the child care center out there. So a great program, and congratulations to JJ and her team over there. We also made a big announcement at the East Campus today, and that was hiring a new director of services over there. And after a long search, we've decided to make Danielle the director of services at the East Campus. Danielle's been with us for many years as the deputy director over there. I have watched her grow and really learn about senior living and everything else. And I will tell you, when we made that announcement, it was very well received at the East Campus, and the team was excited. I've already gotten 2 thank you notes to Fred and I for making that selection just after having announced it this morning at 10 o'clock. So they're very thrilled that Danielle's going to be stepping up to take the job. She'll be Lori's counterpart on the East Campus. It wouldn't be a town hall meeting if I didn't talk about COVID. You know, this is supposed to be what I call town hall light, where I don't bring a lot of slides in, but I can't help bringing a few slides in because we do our big ones in February and May. But I do want to talk about what's going on. This may be the shortest COVID discussion we've ever had. We're doing really well. Our numbers are down to 4 total, although actually the employee fell off today, so we're now down to 3 only at the East Campus. Had to double check. Last time they were only at the West Campus, so I'm not sure what y'all are doing, but passing it back and forth, I guess. You know, we're in a safe spot with COVID, although the city is still saying it's a medium, but it is improving. But we all still do need to be careful. I'll tell you, I was flying last week. I went to a conference in Phoenix, and I was probably one of only 2 or 3 people on the airplane wearing a mask. So only 1 or 2 or 3 people. Now I have to tell you, I did run into a Blue Skies resident in the pre-boarding area. I had to go up and offer him one of my masks. I won't call out any names, but you know who you are. So it is still out there, so please be careful. wash your hands, stay away from people that are sitting there coughing and everything, and we'll continue to do what we can to keep y'all safe. But right now, the numbers are certainly manageable. I think we dodged a bullet on flu this year. You can see that before the end of the year, flu spiked really badly in the United States. It's down to a very manageable area in blue skies, and even though it's still high in San Antonio. But flu and COVID are both dangerous for people our age. So we have to be very, very careful. Development. Most of y'all have seen this. We put this announcement in the Roadrunner and the Friday Flyer and told folks, but Jennifer Matthews, our development officer, has decided to go off on her own and take some other avenues. She wants to become a full-time real estate investor and manager, and so she was doing that on the side early on and decided she'd like to do that as a full-time vocation. We wish Jennifer well. She did a great job for us, and we're now in the process of looking for a new development officer. We're not in a hurry. We'd rather do it right than do it fast, and so we'll find someone to fill the big shoes. Jennifer leaves the office in great shape. She made some great improvements, made a lot of innovative programs, and Mitch and Daniel are going to be able to keep that going for us until we bring a new development officer in. I always like to talk sales and marketing. Sarah Mansky can't be with us this afternoon because Sarah's on her way to Dallas. She's part of the Emerging Leader Program, not the Emerging Leader Program, the Leadership Collective in Leading Age, where they take young leaders and they learn about senior living, and they go visit different campuses. And this is one of her weeks to go visit someplace up in Dallas, so she can't be here, but I'm happy to talk about her numbers. Overall numbers staying about the same, 79% overall, 88% at the West Campus. We're still struggling on the East Campus. You've heard me say this many times. The areas where we're struggling are apartments in the high-rises, and because the East Campus is made up primarily of apartments in the high-rises, their numbers tend to suffer. But you're going to see where we've made some great strides over here on West and in the East, and we're beginning to show some improvement in those areas in the high-rises. Attrition, we track attritions versus move-ins. We've had a significant increase in attrition in the first 6 months of the year. Attrition meaning people that pass through the continuum, people that move out. We've gone through every one of those numbers, every one of those people that decided to leave the community. I will tell you, a lot of those who left the community were renters. We don't have a lot of renters, but it doesn't take many to push the numbers. We have about 52 renters at Blue Skies of Texas. Most of those are at the East Campus, but we do offer rental options for both campuses because some people aren't really sure they want to tip their toe in the water on continuing care yet. So we allow them to rent, and then many of them convert to the CCRC concept. We charge renters more that are there, but some of the renters who came in decided they needed to go to the next level of care and couldn't afford that level of care in our community, and so they decided to leave. That's going to be, I think, one of the results of having more renters is you may have a few more people leaving, but I'd rather have them in there for 6 months, 9 months, a year, and then leave than have that apartment empty. So we think these numbers are going to settle out over the year. Even if they don't, the final chart down here, the little light colored area where we try to extrapolate the losses, even if we had continued with this high rate of losses, we're still going to be better for new residents than we were in 18, 19, 20, and 21. So even with that, we're doing really well. But we think those are going to mitigate as we go throughout the year. So another indication of future progress are deposits, and we're doing really good on deposits. You see FY23, in January of FY23, we had 53 deposits. There were years we've only had 60 and 70 deposits overall. If you look there in 2020, we had 60 deposits that year. We're already at 53, and last year we broke 100. We had 103 deposits, and we're on track to beat that record this year. Those are good because deposits tend to move in within 1 to 3 years. So you want to keep a healthy number of deposits out there. So that's very, very positive. We continue, as many of y'all have seen, with our monthly in-person marketing events. Many of y'all participate in those. How many of y'all have come down and worked with our programs and part of the ambassador program that does that? We appreciate you doing that because, we can talk all day long what it's like to be part of senior living, but to have people who are here and being part of senior living in there, telling what it's about, really has a profound impact on them. So thank you for doing that. We also continue to have our quarterly online marketing events, because as you remember, only 24% of everybody who moves in here comes from San Antonio. Another 24% come from Texas, and the rest come from all over the United States. How many of y'all moved to Blue Skies outside of Texas? Enough said. That's why we continue to do marketing events for those folks. We also have been really upgrading our peripherals, our mailers, and things like that. Really excited about that. I'm getting great comment on these. I took a group, I spoke to about 150 people at the San Antonio Country Club last week, and I took a bunch of our peripherals and left them out there, and I got numerous people saying, hey, these really look good. I really like these. And so I'm excited about what we're doing there. We have some new stuff coming out. These are the new peripherals. Talks about the contract options on one side, where we are in the community. That's the cover sheet. And one thing that's really great about all of our peripherals and all of our advertising is if you go on our web and all of our advertising, you're looking at Blue Skies residents. You're not looking at stock photos. You can tell the stock photos. They're just a little too perfect. So we're using actual Blue Skies residents. We're getting positive comments from that. We think that's very important. And so we'll continue to push in marketing. Sarah will be here next time, and we feel pretty comfortable for the year. Just a short update on facilities. We are really turning some cool apartments in the towers at West. We took Heather and her team, and we took Tim in there, and we took some other guests in there and said, hey, what would you do if you owned this apartment? What would you do to renovate it? And they came up with some really innovative ideas of putting in extra cabinets, redesigning some of the stuff, and they're beginning to sell. And so they did 8 1,000 square foot apartments, and the feedback is really, really nice. That's some of the kitchens in there that you see in the open concept. We're doing similar at the East Campus. It's a little harder at the East Campus because the apartments are smaller. The kitchens especially are smaller. I thought this was innovative where they brought the entire kitchen concept outside of that galley kitchen, put the refrigerator on the outside, added that cabinet there on the left-hand side, and makes it look much bigger than it is, and really brings it out into the room. So that was pretty cool. We spent almost $200,000 for our emergent repairs this year. You see these all the time. When the elevators go out, when the water line breaks, those are all unbudgeted, but we budget a large chunk of money every year for these unexpected repairs, and we continue to do those. We have completed so far this year, the nursing stations over at the Mission. We've completed the floor at Liberty House, and we're still working on bringing in the generator, the chiller over at the Mission, and finishing up Freedom House's roof and finishing up the fire suppression system at Freedom House, the upgrade we had planned there. So continue to work. Capital is very busy, and yay for the back gate. The Freedom House gate is open. Did they do a good job or what? I thought they did a great job. I was very proud of them for that, and I think that's going to be great. As the traffic pattern changes, that's becoming so much more important, especially if you're coming back to Blue Skies from the west, from Castroville. You get off there, come in the back gate, and it's not like you're sneaking in the back door because you broke curfew. Because that's sort of what it felt like before that. Now it feels like you're coming in to not the back gate, but the Freedom House gate. So, proud about that. Soon we'll start work on the Missions in the Hills. If you remember, we talked about we're finished with all the lawsuits. We finished with mediation. The engineers are now working, and we're going to bring us their designs by the middle of this month, so we'll know how we're going to start to remediate the damage that was done over in the hills, and to continue the repairs in the Mission to work on the foundation over there and part of that building. So we're glad to be out of the lawsuit phase, very soon going to be in the building and fixing phase, and so we're excited about that. We're still continuing to work on the Vista and what's going to happen next with the Vista. We've engaged Fisher Heck Architects and Leonard Construction to give us some ideas. I'll be honest, this is harder than I thought. I thought this was going to be a little simpler job than it is, but Lots of opinions on how to do this. Somebody asked me the other day, you know, what's our overarching theme? The overarching theme is going to be the best use we can do for the community. So, and that's weighing all the concerns and everyone else. And so we're not there yet. Not ready to come back and tell you what we're doing, but we're still working to plan that and looking at some options. A lot of y'all are tied into how we rate the mission and the star ratings that our skilled nursing communities have. You know, for years, Blue Skies has enjoyed 4- and 5-star ratings in all of our skilled nursing facilities. And if you remember last year, we briefed that they were revamping the way they awarded stars, if you would. We took a ding because of an administrative error and went down from a 4-star to a 1-star. In the last quarter, we have now gotten back up. We're at the 3-star level. And so we're digging into why was it the 3-star level, and I'm going to try to explain how they do the ratings. I will tell you, this is really complicated, and I'm giving you the simplistic version. You could get a master's degree in how they assign star ratings through the Center for Medicaid and Medicare Services, trust me. What's happened is they've given much more credence to the health inspections. In the old days, you had an annual inspection, no notice, IG would come in the door, they would be there 5-6 days, a team of 3 to 5 people, and that would be your rating. That rating was part of the star rating. They graded you in health inspections, staffing, and quality measures, and all those things were equal. All those things were calculated together to give you your final star rating. Now they start with the health inspection, but it's not only 1 year. Now that health inspection goes back 3 years. So you have 3 years of health inspections, then you have 3 years of any inspections they came out no notice and did along the way. And let me explain what I mean by that. In skilled nursing, one thing great about skilled nursing is it's highly regulated. One of the things really bad about skilled nursing is it's highly regulated. Anytime something happens in a skilled nursing facility, if you're in the mission and one of our staff walks into your room and you're on the floor, we have to report that because we don't know how you felt. So we have to report that. We have 2 hours to report it. And so every time we do that, that's called a self-report. If I come in, Admiral, if I come into your room and you've got a new big bruise on your arm, and I don't know how you got that arm, I've got 2 hours to report it. Because it could be bad, could be abuse. That's why we report those things. That protects y'all, and that should make y'all very happy. Administratively, it can drive you crazy. Last month, the state came in, and they come in and bundle these things and come in and do no-notice inspections. They came in and looked at 19 self-reports that we did, and a couple were residents called in and said, I'm unhappy with something. They could say they're unhappy with staffing, they could say they're unhappy with the food or whatever. They came in and looked at 19 things, and we got dinged. It's called a tag in our business. We got tagged for one thing, and that was not reporting within 2 hours. We got so tied up in working the issue that we forgot to report it timely within 2 hours. Some of the rules I think are pretty onerous, to be honest with you, especially the 2-hour reporting of things, but that's the rules. We live by those rules, so we're not going to complain about that. But those have become much more important in figuring out what your star rating is, because now they start with your health inspections, and we were 3-star, and before you could up your rating if you did better in another area. Well, now you can up your rating, but it's only on the very excesses. So you start with health inspections. We were 3-star, so that's a 3, and then you look at staffing. If you're a 5-star staffing facility, which is almost undoable, you could add a star. If you're a 1-star, which is really bad, you have to subtract a star. We were a 3-star, so that gets a 0. You then look at your quality measures. Same thing on quality measures. If you're a 5 level, you can add a star. If you're a 1 level, you can subtract a star. We were at the 3-star level, so overall, our rating is 3. As we continue to focus now on working those health inspections, working those timely notifications of the state so we don't get inadvertently dinged on things. Let me give you a comparison of how that rates to other communities, because I think that's important. When I walk in and tell you we're a 3-star facility, you're going to go, okay, but how does that rate? So in staffing, one of the complaints I get a lot in all of our skilled nursing, whether it was when we had the Vista and the Mission or just at the Mission, is we need more people. We are in the top 15% in staffing as a 3-star facility. Top 15% of 90 different skilled nursing facilities in a 50-mile radius around San Antonio. So even at a 3-star level, we're in the top 15% of staff. When they implemented the new rules and started applying these this last quarter, 40% of the people, almost 40%, lost a star in quality measures. Only 20% gained a star. The rest, like us, stayed where we were. And then there's the overall rating. We're at a 3-star overall rating. 23% of all those 90 places are a 3-star rating. And you can see that most of them in this area are 1 and 2 stars. I tell all my friends when they're talking about going to a skilled nursing facility, check the star rating. You don't want to go to a 1 and 2 star facility. We're not happy being a 3-star facility as we're learning more about how to calculate and how to approach these ratings. I feel comfortable we're going to be back up at the 4-star level. We may never get to the 5-star level, be honest with you, now with this new rating system, because the staffing it would require would be pretty onerous to do that. And so we may not get there. But I think being at the 3-star level overall is acceptable. It's not where we want to be. I'm certainly not ashamed of being there right now, especially under the new rating system. Let me talk just a minute about social media. I just wanted to bring a few slides in because, like I said, this is sort of the town hall light. I wanted more to give you all a chance to ask questions about things. Social media is big. How many of y'all spend time on Facebook? How do you have the time? I can't get on Facebook yet. My wife does it for me and, tells me about the cousins on there and everything else because I don't have the time. But Facebook is really important. Facebook and other social media are hugely important to our prospects. So if you want to help us out, we post every day on Facebook for Blue Skies. I know a lot of y'all follow that because I get comments back. We post every day. If you're at an event and you want to take some pictures of that event and everybody there is okay with you forwarding the picture to us, you can send that picture to social media at blueskiestx.org. Social media at blueskiestx.org, and just give us a couple sentences about what it was so we understand it. And we'll be able to post that online and continue to do that. We've sort of assigned different areas of Blue Skies a picture and a story every day so we can post 7 days a week. But it will help tremendously if we're also getting pictures from y'all. Because we want to stay very relevant on Facebook so that when our prospects go out there and look, they find that. Most of our advertising, most of our marketing is done through digital now. It is just not cost effective to do things in paper copies. We're still doing some, but most of it is digital, so this is very, very important. That's why it's important to have all of y'all's pictures in our website. And by the way, if you go to our website, I'd really encourage you to do that. We've been working with some specialists to look at how we lay out our floor plans and the pictures and everything. Our website is tremendously better than it was a couple of years ago. And I think you'll find the interaction in there cool. Interactive campus maps and things like that really will help hopefully set us apart from where we are. So Chip always ended with his plant. I like to end with my grandkids to show that I had no grandkids when I started, and now they're 2 and 4. My son sent me these pictures yesterday, and I started to yell at him because I get nervous when he sends me pictures of my grandkids flying together in the same airplane. But then I noticed they're sitting on the ground. So I was okay with that photo. This is the problem with having an aviator for a child. He's bringing his grandkids up to do the same things. So this is where I'll stop and do Q&A and questions and everything. I just want to give you one quick trip around the community and then find out what's on your mind and answering questions I can answer. Yes, ma'am. Hey, Donnie.
Behind the 800s, there's a stream, and now as you walk behind there, you can see construction on the other side of that stream, but it's on a cliff like we are. Mm-hmm. How much property do we own between the stream, beyond the stream?
Not a lot. we own our property line on the backside of the gardens going east, which is where I think you're talking about. That property line goes just past the floodplain, which is basically the stream and, you know, a little area on the other side. So we don't own a heck of a lot of that land on the other side of that.
But there's a cliff there, right?
Fred, is the cliff on our property or theirs, Steve? It's on our property. The cliff is on our property, but on the other side of that, we don't own that.
Okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
Okay, you're welcome. Sir, you had a question in the back?
An announcement on behalf of the Garden Club. Blue Skies of Texas has been identified as the 1,000th pollinator preservation facility in all of Texas. It's over there.
That is great. Thank you very much.
That's due to the wildflower that is over by the tennis court and pickleball area. There's a couple of acres of wildflower conservancy over there that the general and staff has dedicated to wildflower use. And the bees that Ruben keeps out front, all that keeps the pollinators happy and healthy. And we are the 1,000th bee home, I guess. Be happy. Yeah.
That's good. You know, I don't know if y'all know, when you drive in the gate, if you look on the left-hand side under the trees, there's a little fenced-off area. Those are our bees. We have Blue Skies bees. And so we use it, you know, and people think, oh, we're doing that because we want to help pollination, help that. We're doing that for the tax credit. So, you know, if giraffes would give me a tax credit, I'd have giraffes out there, trust me. You know, same thing with our 250 or whatever it is acres out here in the back. We've got cameras out there proving we have, you know, deer and boar and everything else out there, and we get tax credit for all that. So that works for our benefit. So thank you very much. Congratulations. I know there was a lot of work on y'all's part, and I appreciate y'all doing that. You know, that's what makes Blue Skies so great. We've got the group that's making sure we have the wildflowers, we have the Purple Martin Club, we have, you know, people are bringing back so much. And I was driving in the gate the other day, and I saw a couple walking in, and they had bags in their hands. It was early in the morning. That's about 8 o'clock, and I stopped to talk to Steve at the gate, and I said, "Steve, what are they walking out to the store?" And he said, "No, they're picking up trash they find on the street and everything when they walk around," which I thought was pretty cool. So I appreciate y'all doing that. It says a lot for what y'all think of your home. So, yes, ma'am.
Do you have any information on what's going on Highway 90 as far as
Sorry.
That's okay.
I apologize.
Remind me not to sneak up on you.
Not a good idea. Just curious about because sometimes my car was damaged because of the highway working that's going on Highway 90, and I'm wondering what's going on between here or 1604 and Castroville on 90.
I'm not sure unless is that just the continuation of the Yeah, I think what you're talking about is the access road. So, you know, the plan is there will be a 2-lane access road all the way from 410, all the way out from 410, all the way out to 1604 to 211. So that 2-lane access road, you know how you go out our main gate, the John Ryan gate, you know how that used to be 2 lanes, that's going to be 2 lanes going one way like it is now, but that road will go all the way back to 1604 and even before that. So that's probably what they're working on, because if you notice, they're working on those high wires out there, the electronics wires as you drive home. I think that's in preparation to move them. I'm not 100% sure, but it looks like it. They've been working on that tower a long time, because that seems to be right where the 2-lane access road is going to be.
Well, where my car was damaged was out past 211.
Yeah.
211 was shut down, and they had those highway cones out there, and a guy in front of me ran over one and flipped it into my car.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what was going on out there. Sorry.
So they're not going to extend that frontage road all the way out to Castroville?
Oh, I know it's supposed to go to 211. I don't know that it's going to go past 211. 211's, you know, the next big exit down going west from us. I don't know if it's going to Castroville or not.
Well, what about this Montgomery Road? When are they going to put that all the way through?
Well, they're working on it right now. It'll probably be another year or two before it's all the way connected to Grossenbacher. But that road is gonna run all the way down the side of our property, and then it's gonna curve back to the east and connect to Grossenbacher, which will connect to Petranco. So that's gonna be good for us.
Yeah.
Because now we're gonna have access to the back of our property that we don't really have right now other than driving right through it.
Right.
So that will be good. Yes, ma'am?
I have a question. Is there considering a light at the Freedom House?
So,
That made the Freedom House gate?
yes, ma'am, we had them, part of Fred's great negotiating deal was, not only did he get them to pay a lot more money for that little right-of-way we gave them there, but they pre-wired that whole area for a light, and as soon as the traffic picks up and all that goes through, they will install a light there. So Fred had it all pre-wired, so they won't have to cut the road or anything, and won't have to close the Freedom House gate, you know, for a few weeks while they cut that ground. So we did that, yes, ma'am, but they won't put it in until, you know, traffic picks up. Yes, sir, Frank?
I'd like for you to address an assumption that I'm making. You were talking about staffing a while ago, and you said that we currently are a 3-star. We will probably achieve a 4-star, and like you, I like for us to achieve as many stars as possible. But you said it's probably not likely that we will get to 5 stars. My assumption on that is because to get to 5 stars in the staffing level, we're probably going to have to raise entry and or monthly fees to a level that is probably unacceptable to all of us. Is that the reason?
Yes, when they redid the stars and everything, they made that 5-star strata so thin. And I'll give you an example. When you look at the number of facilities out of those 90 that are at 5 stars, there's only 2. So I mean, to be up in that 1 and 2 would cost a lot of money to get there. And I think a 4-star level would be more than adequate for, you know, for what we're able to do. Already at the 3-star level, we're in the top 15